Hey y'all, it's Tynetta from Sting Nail Co. It's officially December and y'all know we coming in hot with some Grinch vibes. Get into it. This is actually a recreation that I'm doing from Queen of Nails on Instagram. This is the picture that I'm recreating. So I'm starting off with a fresh fill. I'm just going to go ahead and create the French tips first. So I'm just using a small detail brush to go ahead and draw the outline of the French. And then I'm going to fill that in with the same red gel polish. You can use whatever color you like. I'm just trying to get this as close to the picture as possible. I still tried to put a little bit of a spin on it, but I just wanted to recreate these. So I'm trying to get it, like what the picture was. So I'm just gonna go on all the fingers that I'm doing French on and just create that French. When I'm doing French tips, I like to start with one side, swoop the other side to meet in the middle, and then I will fill in the shape, which basically the tip of the nail. And then I'm going to look at the French tips, decide if it's the shape that I want, if I want it to be wider, skinnier, if it needs to be straightened out. And I just like to keep editing and fixing on it before I put it in the light, so I'm happy with how it looks. Over time you get better and better, and you need to do less and less fixing. But as you can see, like with the pinky nail, I'm not going to show it on camera, but I did have to go back and clean that up. Go ahead and cure that in the light, and now we're going to get started with our design. So this finger says them kids with some Christmas lights. So I'm starting out by just sketching out the base of the letters real ugly, real thin, just so I can know where the letters are going to be placed. And I'm using our gel paint from stingbeauty.com. I'm using the gel paint today because, as you can see, it's very easy to work with, but it does not run or move at all. So wherever I place it is where it stays. Even as you can see, like the H and the E are super close, they're not running into each other. So whenever you're doing something with precise lines, you need this gel paint in your life. It's going to make it so much easier for you. So yeah, once I'm happy with the outline and make sure everything fits properly across the nail, then I'm using the tip of my brush to go ahead and thicken those letters up and get that stylization that I'm wanting. So again, just sketch those letters in, and now with a light hand, I'm just going ahead and thickening those letters up to give it like the bubble letter look. And this is the same concept with the French. Just keep fidgeting with it until you're happy. And the reason why I like gel polish, if I'm not happy with it, I can just wipe it off and start over. Okay, so on the other hand, it says fuck. So yeah, excuse my language, I'm not gonna say it again, but yeah, on each finger is a different letter. So I'm starting off with the F, of course, and then the U. So basically all I'm doing, oh I'm sorry, not the U, the C. Basically all I'm doing is drawing the outline just to make sure it's in the right place and that it's the shape and the style that I like, and then I'm going to fill it in. Since these are such bold block letters, I am going to start with the outline instead of starting with the center of the letter like on the other hand, and because there's only one letter on each finger. So yeah, when you're doing words, like a full word, you got to make sure that it's going to fit. But other than that, it's okay to go ahead and just draw the whole letter out first. And then as you can see with the C, I did clean that up some. If I wasn't happy with the lines, you can always clean it up before you put it in the lamp. And again, like I said, just keep fidgeting with it until you're happy. I always make sure if you're doing a recreation or you're copying like an exact font, just keep looking at the picture on your phone while you're working so you can get it as close as possible. Moving back to the other hand, I'm now using our black gel paint just to create the lines for the Christmas lights. So I'm just doing some little wavy lines at the top and the bottom. Cure that in the light, and then I'm going to pick the colors of my choice. And since we're doing the Grinch, of course we did green and red, and you're just going to draw some ovals. Cure that in the light, and then you can go in with the same black gel paint and just add the outlines, and then you're done. This design is super easy, and of course everybody loves Christmas, so yeah, that's an easy one to add to any Christmas set. So now we're going to do the middle finger, starting with the middle finger being up. I'm going to pull that down as long as I want it, draw the other 4 fingers around it, which are just like little ovals, and connect them all and fill the space in just using any green polish of your choice. Then I'm going to go ahead and clean up that wrist area because we want to make enough room for the bottom of his shirt, which is like some kind of cotton. I don't know what you call this, but it looks like cotton, whatever's on the Santa Claus hats and the stockings. So yeah, just draw that in. cure in between each color as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and outline using the black gel paint. The only thing that made this kind of difficult was making it look messy without making it look too messy, because you still want to give the illusion of his Grinch fur. So I'm just trying to draw that in without it being like over the top, and I felt like the middle finger was a little too thick, so I did wipe some of that off and just go in and just add a little bit more of little flicks of the brush just to spice it up. Go ahead and outline that little fluff on his sleeve, and then I drew some lines just to indicate his arm. Okay, now it's time to do Mr. Grinch himself. So again, I'm starting off with the hat. For the hat, I wanted to start up with this white fluff just so I could know where everything was going to be placed on the nail. And then I cured that in the light. Go ahead and draw in the top of the hat now, which is just a red polish. The only thing that I can say, I really didn't need the red glitter in the back because his face was so big that it covered everything up. But hey, it was still a cute little pop of color. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch out the shape of his face first, and just drawing, like I said, how big I want his face to be, and then I'm going to fill that in and cure that in the light as well. Now we're going to go ahead and back with the black gel paint, starting into our details. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and do the hat, and then just around that fur edge on the hat, cure that in the light, and then we're going to move on to his face. So far, it's just been simple outlines, so that's not really hard to do. You're just tracing around the color that's already there. But now once we're getting into his facial expressions, you do want to make sure it's close to the actual character so that it actually looks like him. So here I'm just looking at the picture of the nails that I was recreating, and I'm drawing and sketching his eyes. And yeah, he was not looking right. So I was like, you know, I got to start this over. That's why I said I like gel polish, because you can just remove it. So I just wipe that off, put her hand in the light, and then we're going to go ahead and start back into those details. So this time I just started to start with his mouth instead of his eyes. So I'm drawing his little mouth. Looks like he got a little bird beak or something. I don't know what he got. We also don't know what kind of animal he is. So hey, he can have whatever he wants. Sketching that nose, and then I'm just adding in the little details for the face, the mouth, and now I'm going to go ahead and place his eyes. And it was a little bit easier for me to place his eyes with the rest of his face already on. So yeah, you can always switch up how you do your designs. It doesn't have to be a certain way, just whatever gets you to the finished product. Once I cure that, I'm going to fill in his eyes with that yellow, finish outlining his face, cure that in the light one more time, and then I'm just going to add the rest of the details to his face and fix his eyes. Since I went around the details of his eyes with that yellow, I'm just going to put that back in, add his pupils, and then cure that, and he's all done. So for the crystal French tip, I've already applied a matte top coat to the nail, cured that, and now I'm applying a thin coat of our super sticky jewelry gel. Before I cure the jewelry gel, I'm going to apply all my crystals and get everything in place where I want it. And these are the Serenity crystals from Blue Street Crystals, so make sure you check them out if you're looking for some high quality color rhinestones. And as you can see, I'm just using a wax pencil to place those different sizes. It's basically just like a jigsaw puzzle. Just put in the different sizes where they fit. You don't want to have too many of the same size together unless that's the look you're going for, but I like for it to be kind of a mix and match look so that there's not a lot of big gaps in between the stones. Even though I'm doing this crystal look, I still put the red base behind, so if there are any gaps, it's still going to be red and it's not going to stand out. Okay, so just make sure you do that. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to cure that in the light for 60 seconds, and then we're done. This is the finished look. We made sure to moisturize her cuticles and get into it. If you are interested in the matte top coat that I used today, it will be dropping very, very soon, so stay on the lookout for that, and I will see you guys later. If you want to shop any of the nail products mentioned in this video, make sure you check us out at stingbeauty.com, and you can use the code YouTube to save some money off.